What's up, y'all? It has been a long day for me, and I am ready for bed. But before I go night-night, let's go ahead and get into this updates with the Nolan Wells case. They have revealed from the attorney, Benjamin Crump, that they will be talking and dropping the results of the autopsy tomorrow. I'm not really sure exactly on a specific time, but I do know that they will be sharing those results. So we are definitely going to be tuned in because we definitely want to know what is going on and what were the findings. Also, this week, the funeral happened, and you had Al Sharpton up there, which I'm like, why is he here? Because every time I see him, I feel like this is some type of Democratic operative moment for them to show that they are throwing support out there. Because remember, this is a midterm election. I'm just getting real Democratic shield-ish type vibes from Al Sharpton. But he basically has set up a reward hotline that you can basically call and drop tips. And I'm guessing that if the tip leads to any type of arrest or whatever in this investigation, they have a reward now, and I believe it's up to $125K. I believe Tyler Perry donated $100K, Al Sharpton $50, and Terrell Owens, the former football player, gave $25K. So last I checked, it was at $125K. But shout out to them for doing that, because that's definitely showing that you can support the community. So I feel like this. I've seen a lot of comments and I've seen a lot of people talk about this case, and I pretty much feel a lot of us are leaning towards something's not right. Something is not right. It's very funny. You got these people who are so-called his friends, and they didn't even show up to the funeral. Nobody came to the funeral that was on that boat. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is speaking out. Where's his coach at? Everybody is mum, is mute. They done lawyered up. Deleting Facebook and Instagram and social media pages. Like, what type of friends are these? These are not friends. I know if something happened to my homegirl, I'm singing like a bird. I am singing like a bird. I'm not going to go and deactivate all my social media and get a lawyer and say, well, y'all just figure it out the best way y'all can. That's not a friend. A friend is somebody who's going to be there. Something happened to their friend, they're going to go. Make sure, hey, I'm giving all the information that I can. These people aren't his friends. To me, his real friends were the ones who showed up at the funeral. Those were his friends. And those were the people that he should have been around. I'm really trying to allow grace with the mom and the parents, because I understand that, this is just tragic. It really is tragic. And I understand they're going through a lot, but it just really bothers me that, one, the dad made that comment about not seeing the race. I'm like, dude, you are a black man in America. Like, for you to say that comment is very asinine. You know what I'm saying? We don't live in a utopia world. Maybe in some of y'all's that are delusional, mine, but that's not what reality is. That's just not what reality is. And you're doing your children a disservice when you don't sit them down and you don't explain these things. You got to give them the real. Because guess what? In these other people's household, they're giving their children the real. They're telling their children what the deal is. And you're sending your kid out there blind to the world, like everything is just peaches and roses. And then you come up with a situation like this. You're doing your kids a disservice. You got to sit them down and talk about the real. Because guess what? The real world's going to kick them in the ass. It's not going to be polite. Don't nobody owe you nothing in this world. They've always said that. Especially if you black in America, you're going to have to get it out the mud. 9 times out of 10. So I just feel like Nolan was just done a disservice, because I'm looking at these videos and these clips that are coming up, and I'm seeing him really the only black person out there, or not too many. Like, that doesn't feel uncomfortable. Like, being the only black person in the room is not a flex. You know, you're behind enemy lines. You're being unprotected. And that's what Nolan was. And unfortunately, we're dealing with this situation. And now everybody is mum. Nobody is talking. It's just crazy how this whole situation is. It just really is. And I just want people, especially Black Americans, to start being aware of your surroundings, man. We're living in very different times, right? We have a president who is just doing a lot of things that are just very unfavorable. You know, I'm not going to go on because we see what he does. We see it. You know what I'm saying? We just got to make sure that we are just locked in. We're being on code with each other and we're looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? We have to. Because this right here, this case is just, it's crazy. Like every time I hear updates, I just feel some type of way because I'm like, damn, like, you know, he woke up that morning not even thinking the worst, and then the worst happened. So we're going to leave it there because it's way more to follow with this investigation, with this case. Nancy Grace has picked this up, so y'all already know she don't play. When she's honing, she's going. Casey Anthony is still catching hell to this day from Nancy. Nancy ain't let off the gas not one bit. So she's been talking about it. You know, a lot of content creators, everybody is talking about this case. And we're going to find answers. We are going to keep asking questions until we get the answers. So more content to follow. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. How do y'all feel about this case? You know, where do you think it's going? You know, just let me know how you feel. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next time.